way to grow is to shine the magnifying glass or shine the flashlight on the pain. And that's how you turn the pain into power, right? I would not be able to completely quit drinking alcohol or, overcome those obstacles until I started keeping it real. Your flaws that we have, they're not actually flaws, right? They're strengths. You just got to be able to look at it. Nobody's perfect. In the social media world that we have, everybody looks good and stuff like that. As soon as we start getting okay with who we really are and basically being open about our mistakes, being open about what we're considering flaws about ourselves, the sooner we can grow.
Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in so far. If you've enjoyed what you've been listening to and you're looking to scale your real estate portfolio, we have our Scalers Only Mastermind that is now open and accepting applications. So, if you'd like to join the family, be a part of the community, and scale your business, all you got to do is click the link below. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Scalers Only Show, where we talk real estate, business, and lifestyle. Today, I've got Mr. Dave Payerchin in the house. What's going on, man?
Thanks for having me.
Welcome in, man.
Thank
you. And
you.
I want to give you a proper introduction because I've known of you and known you for many, many years, maybe my whole 13-year real estate journey too. But just give people a little bio on you. Dave is a partner at Sell House Columbus, which currently owns and manages more than 100 properties that produces over $105,000 in monthly revenue, in addition to successfully raising over $20 million from banks and private parties. Dave and his partner RJ and their 7-member staff have purchased, renovated, sold over 500 properties for a profit.
That's the old bio. I don't know where you got that one from. That's a lot of things. Those numbers have inflated a little bit.
But it's bigger and better now.
We got about 300 rentals.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we've raised $75 million.
Nice.
Shit.
Yeah, just for deals.
Where we pull this bio from?
You got the
that's
wrong one,
an
Terry.
old
A second
one.
page.
Oh,
there you go.
You got a 2-page bio? Damn.
But no, thanks for having me, honestly. Long overdue.
Hell yeah, long overdue for sure.
You also have one of the
largest
Facebook groups.
and probably most active.
Yeah.
That you were banned on. Sorry, gotta say it.
Terry's banned. Let's get this. Let's air out the dirty laundry right off the bat.
To be fair, I already know Terry, and he probably should have been banned, right?
I agree with you too.
He flipped off. You flip off the handle.
I just, I say what everyone else wants to say.
So, yes, I founded the Cream Group, and the Cream is Columbus Real Estate and Money Group, and per Facebook statistics, it's the most engagement Facebook group in Ohio.
How many members do you have?
Shit.
So it's got 8,700 people.
Oh, wow, that's huge.
But the post engagement is legit.
It is legit.
Do you guys want to know why Terry was banned?
Yes.
Should we get into that?
Let's get
We're
into
getting it already?
Let's pick on Terry.
Is his face turning red yet?
So
why were you banned, Terry?
His bald spot's stunning.
First off, we'll talk about the Cream Group. I started that because I was thinking about a way to kind of build a bridge between the realtor community and the real estate investor community.
That makes so much sense.
As you guys know, it's such this thing realtors. It's almost like a battle. Realtors versus wholesalers.
It's like a middle school dance.
It doesn't need to be that way.
The guys on one side, girls on the other. It's literally a middle school dance. Realtors and investors.
And it doesn't need to be that way. And then also, there's the contractors. So I wanted to create the group to get the resources going of for realtors and for investors as well. It's who do you guys use for drywall? Who do you guys, kind of create a networking group, but really build that bridge because there's other Facebook groups out there where it's just realtors or just.
That's very true.
Renters or wholesalers.
Trying to build a community, pretty much, which you're doing a good job
It's a good
of.
community, but Terry, I was looking at Terry because this was a version of me where I was not thinking about collaboration. I was thinking about competition, right? And this is a shift in the mindset. And if your listeners are going to learn anything, the sooner you can get to a mindset of collaboration, you're going to be so much better off. You know this very well.
So
but
true.
I was thinking of Terry. I was intimidated. I'm like, Terry's fucking...
Oh, don't make his head big, man. What?
No,
I'll wait for some good juice.
I thought he was good. He posted something off color.
See? You keep your mouth shut and learn a little bit.
It was my own ego, my own fear of, essentially
Competition in the same market.
Competition.
Yeah, I was gonna take my members or
maybe
something,
he's gonna
or-
steal people and do his own thing. And there's that voice in a lot of entrepreneurs' head where it's fear.
Well, it's hard to overcome. It's that ego. You're doing something. You don't want someone else to steal it and be like, oh, is this guy coming after my... I mean, it's tough, but The faster you realize, the more you can collaborate and corroborate.
Correct.
You
So
both grow.
as
Yeah.
I've grown personally, I've been able to mend that bridge, right? And here we are. Now
We good, man.
one big
That's the
happy
real
family.
story, but can we come up with like a more creative one to say like
Yeah, we need to spice that one up a
Yeah,
little bit.
Terry.
That's like some
Terry went off the
Billy-
handle and
Yeah.
Sending nude pictures.
There we
of
go.
members.
There we go. Dude, when I first started my real estate journey, I mean, you and your partner, RJ, I mean, you guys, I mean, some of the people I looked up to when I was first coming up. And I knew you guys were doing a lot of business. And I saw your names everywhere. You guys were doing email before email was cool. And I was like, holy smokes, like I want to get on that level where they're buying and holding all these properties. You guys were wholesaling. This is back 2010,
I was
2011.
going to say, when did that
before-
start?
A lot of that's RJ. So RJ had a wholesale business. He started in like 2006.
oh wow.
And
No
then-
shit.
Yeah, I started my real estate career actually in Phoenix, Arizona.
Love that place.
Born and raised in Cleveland originally, and then right after high school, I wasn't going to college, barely finished high school, and got the opportunity for a construction job in Phoenix. And
What year was that?
This was 2001.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so I'm just a kid from Cleveland living in Phoenix, and I was like sheltered in Cleveland. There's not a lot of growth there, right? You
Yeah.
don't see like, you go out to fucking Arizona, there's just fields of new construction houses,
100%.
Del Webb communities you hear about like out west. It's like, I was like my starstruck. I'm
Especially
like,
then.
This is unbelievable. So I moved out in 2001, and I was there for the big boom of real estate in 2005. In places like Arizona and Nevada and Florida, I mean, I was like,
You're in
basically,
heaven there.
well, so I started out doing construction in '01, and then I wanted to be successful. I wanted to show everybody back in Cleveland, it's like, look, I can make it on my own. So I went and got a night job doing telemarketing for the old long distance company MCI. You guys probably don't know MCI WorldCom.
Yeah, I know
They
MCI.
like imploded. There was all sorts of like, crazy conspiracy stuff that went on. But so I'm doing construction during the day, and then I'm telemarketing at night. And then I found a knack for the telemarketing. I'm like, I got this thing. So I was able to leave my construction job and just do full-time phone sales. And then I was able to leave my job. So I did the phone sales from '01 to '05, and then in May of 2005, I quit my job to do wholesaling full-time. So I was driving around ghetto neighborhoods and finding board ups and skip tracing before it was like a thing, and tracking down the owner.
No shit.
And my very first year in business, my first 12 months of doing wholesaling, obviously the market was 2005.
Yeah,
so
right before.
everybody was making money, right?
It was a little boom.
I made $180,000 my first year.
Woo.
And I'm a kid from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Right? It completely went to my head. I bought an Audi. Right? I bought
We're
a
gonna buy
Mustang.
now.
I had a house way too big that I shouldn't have bought. Using all this bad debt, these adjustable rate mortgages. I was going into banks like that don't even exist anymore, like Washington Mutual, and pulling out third mortgages against properties.
What's that? What's from the Big Short? He's like, yeah, I used to be a
Big Short.
bartender. No, I got a boat.
Yes. So that was me. I was walking out of the bank with a $30,000 check. I'm like, this real estate thing's easy.
Sweet, thanks guys.
And it all imploded on me. I completely went down. And in 2007, I filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy. I was
Damn.
completely bankrupt.
You're literally that story of what happened happened to you.
It happened to me. I went through that, and then I went back to work. And I went back to wait tables at Applebee's. One thing led to another, and just basically wanted to move back to Ohio. Folks were getting older, so I jumped in with RJ, who was my buddy, and he already had a wholesaling company. So I moved back to Ohio in 2012. And
Gotcha.
but RJ's been wholesaling here in Columbus since like 2007, I feel.
Damn. So you guys just decided right in 2012, like, hey, let's just make this a formal partnership, and let's.
So he already had a wholesale company here. I was like traveling and living out west, and I met him at a real estate conference out in San Diego. And our original plan was, let's sell turnkey properties, because I had come from the Arizona market and California. I lived in
and then
California
you're
for a
from
year.
Cleveland, where it's
I'm
huge.
from Cleveland, and I'm like, look, we can buy these houses in Ohio, get them cheap, fix them up, and we can sell them. Like, I know we can sell these to Arizona people and
Yep.
And that was the original game plan. And we started Columbus Turnkey Houses back in 2013, and we flipped hundreds of turnkey properties. That was like our game, and did that for years.
How do you see the?
And then started buying and holding ourselves.
Do you regret all that stuff you turnkey sold?
100%.
See?
100%. And the biggest regret from any real estate professional, number one, is what they sold. Right?
should've
I
kept
wish I
it.
could have.
I wish I would have never
Hold
sold
on
that.
to that.
I wish I would have never sold. But the ultimate regret, especially from a lot of realtors, people who are in real estate right now, and if they're listening to your podcast, this is a great show for them to listen to. But a lot of realtors, I wish I would have held on. I wish I would have hung on to something, right? Because if you're just a realtor or even a wholesaler, it's just a high-paying job at the end of the day. It's not even a like you can sell your business.
Nope.
Like the best performing realtor, I know Misty Lynn has been on your podcast,
Yep.
and she's amazing at what she does. She's still accumulating assets, though.
But you
she
can't
knows.
sell
What are you gonna
yourself.
sell your
Yeah.
book of business? I
Do
mean,
something with the
and
money you make.
a wholesale company, it's not like you have repeat customers.
And I know that some of these gurus will preach that, hey, wholesale company is going to be, sellable at some point in the future. I'm going to call BS on that. Dude, you're not selling a wholesale operation. It's not a sellable business.
Because there's no repeat customers. Are your buyers loyal to you that they're only going to buy from you? No, they're going to
No.
buy from whoever's providing the best deal for them.
Yeah.
The only saleable business is like an auto repair shop where they show this consistency of customers, a flower shop, right? It's like you can show repeatedly that book
The
of business.
same people coming in.
Yeah, but a wholesale company is not loyal. There's no customer loyalty from your buyers to you.
How's the wholesale? Like, you've been in it for a while, and a lot of people are new into wholesale. But how's the scape changed since back then and now? Like, do you see way more? Like, now the gurus are preaching about it. Like, oh, get into wholesale. Don't use your money. I mean,
For sure. I think the real estate guru space has always been there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's always...
not always on social, but yeah, it's always been there. Or like, come join our group or come into your city, stuff like that.
I think it's just louder with the advent of social media and just the different
Just
media
online
platforms. I think
presence
it's
in
always
general.
been there, though.
Yeah.
Even before we were born, people have been selling shit.
One of the things that we see eye to eye on, we both agree with, is at the end of the day, we're both operators, right?
Yes.
But you have people that are great marketers and you have great operators. And I love, and I spend a lot of money on continuing education, masterminds, mentorships, all that stuff.
Yes.
But I want to know that, hey, this person that's selling this product of this business is actually doing that
Is
business.
doing deals.
Right.
Not just talking about it.
We both are definitely operators, and we both coach people as well.
Yeah.
But I can only respect a coach who's actually doing deals, and not even somebody who did deals back in, I did a deal a
2010.
couple years ago. And I mean, I think a fair question, if you're considering hiring a coach, look at their last months of performance of what they're doing in their real estate business, in their portfolio. I think everybody who's considering hiring a coach or a coaching company should get to the bottom and ask them what their current real estate business looks like.
Yeah. Agreed. But yeah, there's a lot of marketers.
Well, they're
coming
making
out of
way
the
more
woodwork.
money in the coaching business than they ever made in the
Than
real
they
estate
ever
business.
made.
It's easier for them to
Real
get around
estate,
too
yeah.
with the social media and everything. You put a post up, so many people see it, and there's so many eyes on it where you couldn't do that before.
It doesn't take that many in coaching for what they're charging.
Yeah,
either.
it's got to hit
You
a
get
couple.
20,
and-
30 people paying you, right? 4 or 5 grand, whatever it is. That's
And I also agree, if somebody's new, they were not going to be able to do it without a coach. You should hire a
You
coach.
should.
I'm not against
Yeah.
you.
You should.
Yeah, I mean, you need
Just
a
hire the
mentor.
right
You need a
one.
coach. You know,
Who were some of your biggest mentors throughout this whole journey?
great question. So my two biggest, I would say, like that really got me into the buy and hold mindset were two of our original private lenders. The guys' names are Chris and Rusty, and they're people I used to sell wholesale properties to out in Arizona. And these were just two under the radar guys, and they just owned hundreds and hundreds of houses.
Wow.
Yeah, just the kind of guys just like driving a pickup truck, show up to closing, wearing overalls. Not,
Yeah.
really, but like
love those
you would
people.
never know how much money these guys have. And once I like caught wind of like just how wealthy these guys were, older guys, basically I was like, you got to show me this buy and hold business. And they taught me about rent to own. So a lot of our portfolio when we were first getting started, and we still do lease to owns. But they basically showed us the way of like getting into the buy and hold mindset. It's not sexy. And every wholesale guru out there. It looks good.
Delayed gratification.
Flash, man.
There's still a play for wholesale though. You got to do both.
And flips, yeah.
You got to do the flipping. I was just sharing with Terry, like, fix and flips are alive and well in this current real estate market. We're doing a lot of fix and flips. You got to pay the bills and keep the lights on. But the buy and hold portfolio,
Look at long term.
well, that's where you're going to get the tax-free cash out refis. Terry and I are both huge advocates of, and you get the tax benefits from owning real estate that you could use to write off against your flipping business, right? You only get the tax benefits from owning real estate. It's just not sexy. It's not as marketable as like, look at this $25,000 check and this and that, right? So
Yeah.
I would say the biggest mentors I had were these two guys who were buy and hold guys, and I was just able to like see through the bullshit of like wholesaling. It's like, no, build a portfolio. So that's kind of how that journey started.
How so with these mentors, was there something that drew you to them? Because I mean, my original mentor, same style, had like 35 rental properties. You know, dude, just the Kmart jeans. You know, dirty New Balance shoes. You know,
Someone you
collared
would
shirt
never
that's-
know
Just
that
never
he-
know,
yeah.
right? And you know, I looked at that and I was just like, wow, like. But you had your balling out phase too. So is there something that attracted you to them because of who they were and kind of how they ran their stuff? Being that you've kind of already experienced that ball out phase.
Well, I've experienced the ball out phase, but I experienced the go back to fucking Applebee's phase too.
Right.
I love that it's
Humbling.
Applebee's, by the way.
And it was Applebee's.
Dude, hold on.
Where is it? Where's your
44th
wallet?
Street.
Hold on.
Yeah.
It's upstairs, I think, in your
My
office.
wallet. Yeah.
If
No,
you
I'll
are
right here.
in, I think I still have my food handler's card from back then, from the year I had to get a food permit or whatever. Like I carry it
Yeah,
with
the
me.
safe serve
They had to
safe
give you that?
certificate.
What is that?
Dude, mine's straight up.
Damn.
Yes.
So
So
I keep that as a reminder of my wallet.
if you are listening this 44th Street and Thomas in Phoenix, Arizona, I worked there and waited tables there while I was going through bankruptcy.
need
From
that back, though.
from from the bust in real estate. And why did I go belly up? Because I took on bad debt. I didn't understand debt. You know, and it's essential in our business. It's Scaler's only podcast. How are you going to scale without debt? It's going to be very
What was your
difficult.
mindset when all
Very
that happened?
difficult.
Like your mindset when you lost everything, and all of a sudden it's like a lot
Right.
of people will just give up, or like, you know, I mean, that's a pivotal point in someone's life. Like, shit, I
Well,
just
a lot of people are still scared.
yeah,
too.
like so
They're
scared. Like, what do I
like
do and this and
burned.
that? And a lot of people won't think to go back to basics, but you literally just went back, started, and built yourself to a big empire again, obviously. But what motivated you to get back to doing that, or like, what was your choices then?
It's extremely humbling when you get your ass kicked, right? So it just
Were you by yourself at that point? You didn't have a partner. It was just you
by
Yeah.
myself, and it was a very humbling experience. And I just went back to work, and I'd worked regular jobs and went back to telemarketing, and didn't get back into real estate until I moved to Ohio in 2013, and that bankruptcy was like 2007.
Wow.
So all those years,
Just
I was
grinding in.
licking my wounds. I was afraid to get back
Yeah.
into it because I was like, this real estate thing is not for me. But that's when the psyche changed of buy and hold is the way. I don't want to be relying on these flips because remember, I was flipping like crazy. Everybody went in a hot market with low interest rates and easy loans.
Everyone's about
Everybody's making money. I love this. But that's when I
you
learned.
buy it, and then by the time you go to sell it 6 months later, it's
That's
already
what it
appreciated
was.
20, 30K. And so
Do you see any parallels from today?
I just see the biggest parallel. I mean, rates have gone up now, so it's weeding out the Johnny come latelys, which is good.
Johnny come lately.
Right?
I like that.
Not everybody and their brother is doing. There's still a wholesale market, but yeah, the parallel is in a hot real estate market with easy money. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's coming out of the woodwork and marketing themselves. To your point of like, I'm an expert at this. An expert. You know, they've just been doing it. The only reason they're in business is because
It's a
they
hot
put something
market.
into contract that they can sell for more to somebody who's going to use easy money to buy it, right? So the parallel is everybody's doing it when it's a cool thing to do.
So your lesson learned from that was pretty much pivot to the buy and holds, and that's gonna help you go
Yes.
through the longer.
Yes.
That's like the difference between then and now. So now you know. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest lessons you learned out of all that. Then.
Well, I was like, I don't want to rely on like flipping. I don't want to rely on something to go up and appreciate in order to stay in business.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was. Things just kept going up. They're going to go up forever. I didn't understand like markets. I didn't understand
Corrections.
this stuff. So I just absolutely got my ass kicked, and that made me realize like, wait, who are the most wealthy people I know? It's Chris and Rusty. what are they doing? They don't care if the market goes up, down, or sideways because they have money coming in every month. It's like, I got to get the buy and hold thing going.
Was that your realization? That's when you
That
snapped
was
back
it.
and
Yeah, getting my ass kicked and like realizing I can't make money in this market. Well, these guys are just still rich, right? Why are they still rich? That was like the eye-opening experience. Is like, okay, it's not sexy, but the buy and hold business is the only thing I want to do.
Dude, it's so crazy because you're right. It's not sexy, and especially like people that sell courses and this and that. Like, it's so hard to tell someone that's never been in real estate that $300 a month cash flow or $500 a month cash flow is sexier than the $50,000 check, right? It's just, how do you? I guess because you're in a similar space as me. How do you sell that to somebody, or is it just like a realization that they got to come up with on their own?
Great question. I don't know. I think I don't know. How do we sell it? I think you just gotta live it. I mean, we both are living it, and we are coaching other people.
Yeah.
You gotta show out the long term, kind of like the athletes, showing them what to do with their money, so that way they don't. You make that quick money, but you gotta show what to do with it to ensure to keep it.
And here's the thing. So when it comes to, I think our target market is somebody who was a wholesaler or who started in the wholesale business or
True.
who,
Touché.
and it's like, now that things have changed, it's like, man, how's Terry still doing it after all these years? People got to see it, and you've been around long enough, people know. But I think a wholesaler kind of needs to go through it. It's like, damn, this wholesale business has really slowed up. And if they're already, or they came from a wholesale background, they understand the fundamentals, which is finding great deals off market, which is essential to build your buy and hold portfolio. You still got to buy
which is
good
essential.
deals.
So wholesalers are like the prime.
I think it's our prime
you
customer.
can find the great deals, but you're just not keeping any.
A prime student, I feel, for somebody who wants to teach buy and hold is go after the people who are wholesalers right now. Or we're kind of dabbling in the wholesale thing, and now it's not easy money.
It's not. But what's different about it is, this is the way that I used to think about this because I had that mindset too, where I'm like, have all these wholesalers just sending me deals. If I show these guys how to own their own properties, I just basically dried up my marketing, right? Like, I lose my wholesalers.
Like, crap, I can't buy any
But,
now.
but as we both know, and I think we're on the same page with this, like, you got to do some things in your business, keep the lights on. You get some furnaces to go out, a bunch of hot water tanks, roofs start blowing off. We had one of our students down in Arkansas. Dude, it got decimated by tornadoes, and all this stuff happens, right?
Hopefully, he had
What are you gonna do?
insurance.
He did, but there's some
But the
people-
loan payments are still due while you're
Yeah.
waiting for the insurance check.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
right? But this stuff happens, and so you got to have some other income streams too, and I think that's part of the whole. One of the things that we teach too is just be open to having different income streams in your business.
100%. I agree 100%.
Like, be a full scale investor, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just being a wholesaler, just being this, like, be able to do.
If all you're going
What
to do
you
is
need
buy
to
and
do.
hold and you're just starting out, it's going to be tough. Because, maybe it's only $300 a month.
And you're gonna be rubbing nickels together.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
And you know what else I say, Terry? And I think I'd like your opinion on this. I tell people, if you have a W-2 job right now, I know you got your start. I've listened to your podcast, right? You still had your W-2 job. That allowed you to get qualified for loans that you probably otherwise wouldn't have gotten. I think too many people leave their W-2 job too early. Yeah. They're like, I'm going to do this thing full time. It's so funny. They post on social media. It's
Leave your
like, I left my job
Yeah.
today. And everybody's like, yeah. And I'm like,
no!
Yeah.
How many properties did you buy before you left?
Yeah, you got to get these loans going. I mean, a W-2 will help you qualify, and that's how you got rolling. You were doing real estate as a side hustle and didn't leave your job quite that fast. I think that's a big mistake.
It took like 3 years, but I mean, you can qualify for loans, get as many properties. There's a guy who was on here, Tommy. He's like, I'm making my wife get her FHA loan, and then
Do
my
it.
FHA loan
because-
before we get married. And I'm
Right.
like, brilliant, love it.
Well, because if you're
Better
house
yet,
hacking,
10 conventional in her name, 10 conventional
In
in
his.
your name, the golden 10. You
well,
know?
yeah, because like you said, like everyone's preaching house hacking. Well, to be able to do that, you have to qualify for a loan. You have to have 2 years of income. You start you quit, you go wholesale, trying to get an FHA loan. You're not gonna be able to do it for 2 years.
Everybody
and you
wants
gotta
to
show
get rich quick
consistent.
too, and that's the issue with like the gurus, and that's just it's never going to go away.
No.
You asked like when did what's the difference or whatever? It's always been there. There's always been this like instant gratification mindset, and there's always going to be a market for that.
That's a
And
weakness
like
that
what-
they kind of preach to, though. they know that that's a natural human instinct. So
It's
they'll always-
100%.
Yeah, like, wait, I can make this money
Quick,
right now. Holy
quick,
crap! What?
quick,
I mean,
quick.
And it's easy to show big checks, and I'm going to leave my
It
job,
is.
and everybody celebrates, and it's like, like from a wholesaling standpoint. But the only way to truly build wealth is to buy and hold. And the biggest regret I feel from any real estate professional is not hanging on to enough,
Yeah,
or hopefully they hang on to something.
for sure.
I'm not. Yeah.
What are like deals like you guys got a massive portfolio, like what are like your ideal deal, and is there certain like things you target or anything in
What's
your
deal
buy box?
100%. Affordable housing. Affordable housing is going to provide you with the most exit strategies, right? You could rent it out for cash flow. There's also the most amount of buyers because it's affordable. So we put a big emphasis on properties valued after repair value between like that 100 to 250.
Same.
So that's it. I mean, because they provide the best cash flow, but like I mentioned, there's the most exit strategies. So in the event you got to sell stuff, those are the easiest ones to pair off.
Yep.
Quick.
Right? So we don't want to be in the super lowest end. Those might look the best on paper, as we all know. Wow, look at this cash on cash or this ROI, but they're typically the toughest to manage. And then it's hard to make the more expensive homes work because the rents just don't keep up with the value. Right? I feel like
Touche.
at that 200, 225 mark.
And this is Columbus, Ohio, by the
This
way.
is our
People are
market.
screaming in California right now.
what are you talking about?
You know what?
200 grand
250?
get you a box and a tent.
If you're
Not even.
living in a high dollar market like California,
Yeah, buy somewhere else.
why? Who better to coach you in building a real estate portfolio
That's affordable.
than somebody who understands an affordable housing market? I think every single person in California, they're like, wow, I wish I lived there. You don't hire a coach who's unfamiliar with this stuff, like Terry, like myself. That's what they should be doing. Instead of complaining about it, oh, well, yeah, why don't you live where you want to live, but invest where it makes sense and hire a coach who understands these markets. It's like, we're talking about how do we market it. Let the numbers market themselves. Every single person in California should be hiring us to coach them on building a buy and hold portfolio.
Y'all
Yep.
hear that?
Little plug.
What's your thoughts
I'm
on
going to
new-
be plugging. I'm just getting started. I'm going to be shamelessly plugging because it's the truth. More people need to buy and hold real estate. It is truly the only way you're going to be wealthy. We just discussed we can't sell our wholesale business. Even the wholesale revenue that we make is the highest taxed. It's treated like earned income, right?
Yep.
So
Do you
Well,
do a lot
it's-
of new constructions, or what
we
are your
don't do
thoughts on
any
that?
new. I've never done a new
You
construction.
ever thought about that, or is that something you just don't want to touch at all?
I've just never had the opportunity. I think it's like too slow, probably. You know,
Yeah.
I'd rather buy something existing because we can move quicker.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure, man.
It is gonna be harder to own a house soon if Wall Street ends up jumping back into the market, which they will at some point. They're not gonna stop
Yeah.
because you're already seeing how many homes are owned by.
I don't even know what the number is anymore.
It's crazy.
They exit the
Why?
market.
Because they have free
It's
money.
probably like 50%.
Yeah.
Probably close. What was it, like 40?
I mean,
maybe?
what was the number last year when they were actually at the height of buying? I think it was at least
did
in
a show about
our
it.
market, it was like a third of all houses were bought by institutions.
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
I just shared something with Terry recently where, who you got to watch out. I mean, who runs the show is
Banks.
Wall Street, banks, and the government.
They get
What are
billed
they
out
doing?
if anything happens.
That's
we
the
lost our
club.
money.
George Carlin, the old comedian, he's
Love
got
him.
like a meme out there. He's like, there's a club out there with bankers and politicians, and none of us are part of it. Like, I don't care how many houses you own or this, that. But I just shared something with Terry where they're trying to pass some law in Florida where basically the government gets first right of refusal to purchase properties over a certain amount of units.
Wait, what?
It's this
Yeah.
weird,
What?
right? I
That's
shared that
crazy
with
wild.
you. But that's
That's
terrible.
Florida, of
right?
all places, though. Dang.
It just
right?
takes it away, takes it out of the people's hands.
Probably Miami.
And it's
You know?
like, and there's, and I guess
Problem.
regulation's only a problem when you're the person that's affected, and the cutoff point of where how much money you make, then you have a problem with it. But they came out with another thing too, where basically I think it's like $10,000 a property per year.
Proposed
if you,
it,
yeah,
yeah.
propose, or if you have over 100 units.
Just a fee.
Yeah,
Yeah, just a fee.
Yeah, it's like
It's a money grab.
It's a fee.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's all
holy
fees
smoke.
are.
And even in our city, like locally, you've seen all this. I wrote that giant post, spent like 2 hours really thinking about it, and I was pissed off initially. And I'm like, well, I mean, they're going to put in all this regulation. This is going to suck. actually, you know what? If you know what you're doing, right, and you have multiple exit strategies, it doesn't suck when you really think about it, because they're just going to end up inflating the property values anyway.
Or if you have
Which
multiple.
I hate saying that, because it ultimately hurts the people we're trying to help, but that's the reality of the situation.
The truth of the matter is this. So the government always, wants to pass things out of we're here to help the people, like you just said.
Yeah.
It's always supposed to, it hurts the people it's supposed to
Here to
help.
help the people. Here to help the people.
And we're here to help the
For
people.
the people.
And there's got to be an enemy, though, too. It's like, oh, these greedy landlords are the ones, that
Every good guy
we're
is
against.
bad.
Let us control it all, and we'll make sure that the greedy landlords don't get the best of you. But think about it. Every single thing the government gets involved with, it gets worse.
Fucked up.
Look at healthcare. Look at education. Right? Anything they get involved with gets more expensive, and the quality goes down. What do you think is going to happen with housing? It's going to turn to shit.
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes
Let the free market work, right? If two landlords are out there competing for a tenant, well, that means you got to provide a better product and bring the cost down, or no one's going to want your unit, right? But as soon as it's controlled by Wall Street or the government or whatever the case may be, then the quality goes down, because now they don't have to compete, right? So
You ever get called a greedy landlord?
probably because yeah,
right.
Listen, Fred Durst.
Listen, quit taking all the houses, damn
I mean,
it.
the government's going to do whatever they're going to do. I'm just a strong believer in, if you can't change the cards you're dealt, change the way you play them. And we're always playing by even tax code. I mean, some of the stuff that you get loopholes and stuff, you're using their rules, and that's how you're using the tax code. And
Trump didn't pay taxes.
Right.
It's like, well,
we're using your code.
neither would you if you knew how, right?
So I mean, it just
It's like-
creates more creativity, though. I think too. Like I said, I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do, but doesn't mean that's going to harm certain people. It's going to get more creative and figure out how to do it, right?
there's always an opportunity,
Yeah.
and that's why we need to continue to have these conversations and continue to be in circles where we just stay on the cutting edge, right? There's always going to be an opportunity.
Always got to learn.
Yeah,
That's
always,
one of the
man.
big thing too.
Speaking of, man, you recently had kind of an opportunity with yourself, and where you just recently got sober, right? From drugs?
100%
Alcohol?
with drugs and alcohol. So, and I wanted to talk about this on your podcast, right? So, October was the last time I drank alcohol, and I'm never drinking alcohol again. This is a public affirmation. I'm never drinking alcohol again.
This is
Non-alcoholic.
We called out. What's that in
They
front of
are
you?
very accommodating. So here's the thing. There's two kinds of people in this world. There's switches and there's dials. Okay? A dial is somebody who can go out to dinner, have a nice glass of wine with their steak, have a nice bourbon. I know you like bourbon. I think you got some Woodford Reserve behind
Yes,
you.
sir.
A dial, you can sip on it, have a gentleman's conversation, you have a drink, you dial it up a little bit, you had a good time, and then you stop drinking. And then you just dial it back down, you go home, go to bed, and have a great day the next day. That's a dial. A switch is somebody who starts drinking, and then the switch
They
gets
can't
flipped,
stop.
and you just keep
No off.
going and going and going until you either pass out or black out. And I am a switch through and through. And I promise you, I'm not the only switch listening to this right now.
Yeah.
Right? So, and what it is, it's scientifically proven. Like they say, some people say it's like, well, I got an addictive personality. There hasn't been like science behind this, right? But there is now. And what it is some people are wired where basically when a stimulant like cocaine or Adderall, I'm going to talk about Adderall. I abused Adderall for a long time.
I feel like a lot of people do too. But
Believe me, I know I'm not the only one.
A lot
It's
of
just
salespeople
don't wanna
is
talk.
prescribed
so big
salespeople.
too before,
I
and you
feel
just get
like
hooked on
you
it.
see it. It's so like normalized.
But it's
Yeah.
legal. It's legal. It's not
Especially
illegal.
alcohol.
I'm prescribed. It's like,
productive.
no.
Adderall. But some people are wired where when a stimulant hits their brain, their endorphins, which make you feel good, come flooding out and rushing out much faster than a dial where it just kind of trickles out and they feel a little bit good. So if you have that switch mentality where the endorphins come flying out, you're constantly chasing that because it just comes flooding out. It's like, I got to get back to this place. And I truly have this where, and I know I'm not the only one, where if I was to drink one or two drinks, it is so uncomfortable for me if I can't have
To
any
stop.
more.
Just to stop and not have any
it's
more.
way more uncomfortable to start and then have to stop than it is to just not drink at all. And it has been this way. It's not something that got built up. Ever since I first started drinking alcohol when I was in high school, I've been good at it. I could just drink. I've been good at it. And it's like, it is so glamorized in our society. Isn't it insane?
I'm Irish,
Oh,
yeah.
great.
Same
Give me
thing.
the
You know what I
every
mean? It's
corner.
like-
Call it I'm Irish as well.
yeah.
And I'm just I cannot shut it off. And then when I started taking Adderall, same thing. The switch mentality kicked in. I was taking 90 milligrams of Adderall a day.
I don't know what
It's
that
a
is.
lot.
That's a
lot.
lot.
It's a lot. And
3.
consistently.
Yeah.
And I just had a script. I could just go pick it up anytime I wanted. And then I wasn't eating because that's basically like
'Cause you
speed.
don't eat, yep.
And this is just, I'll tell you, I hit my worst peak in 2019, 2020. And that's right when this cream stuff was going on. I was living in fear. I was creating this group. I was like, I was out of my
Paranoid.
mind. I was out of my mind on many, many things. Admittedly, but I was taking all this Adderall. I would not eat. Maybe I would have a little like celery and peanut butter just to like get something in me, but I would not eat all day, and then I would just pound alcohol to fill my body up. I needed to like fill myself with something, and then the alcohol also brought me down because I was so sped up.
So you're
out of my
going
mind.
playing with your balance right now.
Oh,
with
dude,
each
I was taking
chemical.
uppers and downers, right?
What made
Gotta
you
be terrible
realize
for
like
your
did something
body.
happen or?
Yes. So, well, and I wasn't planning on sharing this. You guys want the raw truth?
Give
Check
it
this
to us.
out.
It could help a lot of people too. You know, I mean, it's
It
inspiring.
is. So I was taking the Adderall, and Lindsay, my fiance, so she found the Adderall, and she was like, "What is this? I'm worried about you." She knew
she didn't
something
know?
was off. She didn't know I was like abusing it like that. But I was going to, it was like right around the COVID time, and like bars were back open up, and I wasn't going to bars that like I'm going to have a good time and like hang out and see some people and stuff like that. I would hang out at bars where no one would
There's
see
no
me.
one.
Because people, I don't want anyone to see me because the amount I would drink, I don't want anyone to see me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going to like
Just to
straight
go
up
drink.
like alcoholic bars. Where people, you were
Holes in
there
the
for
wall.
one
Literally a
reason.
hole in the wall.
Just
You're
to
there
drink
for
and
one
get
reason.
smashed.
Misery loves company. It's just these old school alcoholic bars that I was hanging out there consistently. And one time, it was just another day for me. I was drinking and driving every day, right? But I drank too much, and I drove from this bar to Kroger because I was going to get Kroger grocery store. I was going to get some alcohol to go home. I could not like go home without alcohol.
After
I
the
had
bar,
to
go with
keep
more
going
alcohol.
always, every single time. So I drive to the grocery store, and I ended up parking all cockeyed, and and my car's running. I have an open container in my car, and I just woke up.
Oh shit.
I woke up. I had no idea how long I'd been there.
That's scary.
Lucky I wasn't arrested. But I have prior DUIs. I've been, in trouble from drinking and driving in the past. And it is what it is. So I woke up and it scared the crap out of me. And then, so that happened, and that was November of 2021. So I talked to Lindsay about it, and I'm like, I gotta quit. So I quit drinking alcohol December of 2021, and then I did great. I went like several months, and then we got pregnant with these twins, and that's a whole other conversation.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
man.
I'm glad they made it.
Yeah,
Keeping you
right.
busy, man. You can't drink with that.
Dude, and so I started drinking again, and then one morning, it was like a Saturday morning, after a long night of drinking on Friday. Lindsay came and woke me up, and she has an 8-year-old who I consider my own from a prior marriage, and she was like, "Hey, let's go to the soccer game," and this was on a Saturday morning, and it was like the game's at like 10 o'clock, right? And well, first off, basically, I had woke up, so I was passing out all the time at like 8 p.m. That was like normal for me because I would drink all day, and then I would pass out about 8 o'clock, and I would wake up at like 5 or 6, right? Because I had already blacked out all that time. And I went right to the fridge, hair of the dog, and I had already put down four or five beers around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, to
you're getting
kind of
ready
keep it.
and-
That's how I would be. And then I went back to sleep, and she said, hey, and I was already in my mind thinking, I'm like, how am I going to get out of this game? And I knew I had a 12-pack of Modelo in the basement, hidden. And you got an issue when you're hiding things, and this is like normal for me. But I knew I had that 12-pack of Modelo in the basement, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to get out of going to this game. She's going to go to the game at 10. That's when I'm going to get up, and I'm going to start drinking again. And I'd already started drinking that morning. And she said to me, she was like, hey, we got the game, don't forget. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to go. And I started my routine. I'm going to get out of this. And then she said, she left the room, came back to the room, and I just remember the tone of her voice. She's like, it would really mean a lot if you came. She's like, his last game, and I just like something clicked in my mind. I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
What am I doing?
I'm lying. I'm getting out of games. I'm like being a shitty person because I knew as soon as she drove out of that driveway what I was going to do, and that's start cracking beers again and drink all day. Probably black out around 7, 8 p.m. It's the circle, and then it just clicked in my fucking brain, and I'm like, I cannot do this anymore. So that was it. October 23rd, I just quit for life. And what happened and what's making it easier is the fact that I'm talking about it now.
Yeah.
I've tried to quit because I've struggled with this stuff forever, but ego prevents you from telling people. I don't want to look like I'm a weak person.
Man, it makes you look stronger. I mean, it's
you be
inspirational.
fucking
What you're
vulnerable,
saying.
and you get help, and the only way is to like kind of come clean on this shit. I'm not big into AA. It's just not my thing. I know it helps a lot of people, and that's totally their thing. But I get my thing just from the love and support and just being honest about it. Like, I have to be fucking honest with myself and with people I talk to.
That's amazing that click on yourself, though. I mean, a lot of people have to have something else happen, to stop them, but you kind of just thought yourself, like, wait, I got to change myself.
Well, dude,
you did it.
because
I
I
mean,
knew I was going to eventually, we all know how the story ends. It would have fucked up my relationship.
Yep.
It would have.
But you actually
Because
thought
it was
about that. A lot of
you're
people,
lying-
while they're
'cause you're
doing that, can't
hiding
think about
things.
that. They're like, oh, I need to drink more, and that won't even cross their train of thought. So, I mean, that itself is very impressive.
I knew I
shows your willpower.
just can't hang with the alcohol and the substances. And I just saw it trickling into my life now. She was all upset. She's like, why don't you go to this game? And that's all I need. I'm like, it's starting. My life's getting fucked up.
Yeah.
I just, a couple months prior, I was waking up in my car, drunk from a game, or drunk from a night of drinking, waking up in a parking lot. It's only a matter of time.
So you owe that soccer coach a thank you card.
What's that?
So you owe that soccer coach a thank you card.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
No.
that soccer coach, for
But
having a game.
yeah, I never plan on going back. I'm very vocal about that because I'm an all or nothing type of person. There's no like 99%. I'm either all fucking in or out.
So,
What-
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, when you're in something like that, like, what's the mentality when you're stuck? Like, why is it so hard for you to like get out of that, turn that off?
Because
I don't have the addictive personality, and so it's hard for me to understand that, right?
Yes, and here's that's a great question. A dial will never understand what a switch is going through, but a switch. Somebody listening to this with the switch mentality knows.
Understands.
I got that.
Yeah.
Like,
And I knew
cannot
people-
stop.
I know people like that. I
Yes.
still know people that
No,
they
you
just
can't
have on and
stop.
off. That's it.
So what is it like when you're going through it? You cannot stop. It's not like, and I meet people because I tell the story
Yeah.
now, and people tell me, I think I might be a switch. If you have to think you might be, you're not.
You're not.
You're not. Because you know if you are, where it is you cannot stop. It is very, very uncomfortable.
So, has there been anything that you've like? I mean, because you're an all or nothing guy. Like,
Yeah.
are you taking like maybe some of that energy and then pivoting it into your business? Is that?
Business and my health.
Or
I showed
health.
you my before and after picture,
Right.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
This dude's over here sending me nude pictures.
Wait, what? I gotta pay you back. That's why
you got banned. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, what did you think the cream was? You thought it was yeah, what kind of cream is this?
It's not ice cream.
Yeah, no. I'm very much into my health and very much into my daughters. I have children now. So we got pregnant with the rarest form of twin pregnancy out there.
So what is that?
So this is called, it's called basically mono twins.
Are
So
they
it's-
connected?
No, they weren't adjoining twins. But it's called like monoamniotic, monochorionic, where there's two babies in the same sac. So mostly
Oh, wow.
with twins, there's a membrane separating them so they each have their own living space, right? These babies are in the
Multi-unit.
same sac.
Single family.
Yeah, it's like like they're
duplex.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
They
a
got
duplex.
duplex.
Well, no, because even a duplex has a wall separating people. It's like a duplex with
That's
that's
knock the walls out.
wide open.
You're like, why'd you knock this wall out?
So, what makes it so high risk
That's
is
so funny.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, but these babies are swimming around each other's umbilical
Oh
cords.
shit. So
Oh, dang.
yeah.
So it's super high
It's
risk.
dangerous, too,
And
yeah.
we didn't even know we were having twins until 18 weeks.
Surprise.
You have kids. Do you guys have children?
I got a dog.
I do not.
Not a kid.
I got
No
a dog
kids.
too.
You get it. You
Yeah.
go on these, appointments,
Appointments.
and they're doing the things.
Yep.
So 18 weeks is deep in a pregnancy. You're
Yeah.
into the second trimester, right? We had already had a gender reveal.
You'd
for,
already told people, yeah.
Yes,
gender
for a
reveal.
baby, not babies,
Baby.
plural, right? So we went on a random appointment, and they're like, "You're having twins." So they missed the twins on multiple ultrasounds.
Wow. Because they were in the same
heartbeats,
sack.
The blood test didn't show twins. So they were like, 18 weeks in, they're like, "Oh, you're having twins." And by the way, it's like the rarest form of twins, and you're moving into the hospital in 5 weeks. So we had to
Wow.
move into the hospital full time at 24 weeks because it's so dangerous.
They had to be ready to go at any time.
I can show you pictures of the umbilical cord. It's full blown knotted up because they're swimming
Dang.
around each other, giant knots, and that's exactly what happened. So we move in the hospital at 24 weeks, and they're monitoring outside the belly, monitoring
Now
the heart
they know,
rates.
yeah.
At 27 weeks, at 6:30 in the morning, they come rushing in. We can't find baby A because the knot, boom,
Oh,
it
dang.
happened. 40% of these kind of twins, they lose one or both of them. It's very nasty.
Kind of have
right?
miracle babies then.
They're miracle babies.
That's awesome.
And then, essentially, they came rushing in. They had the babies out, rushed Lindsay to the OR, and had the babies out in 7 minutes.
Holy
Just
crap.
Damn.
Splash and dash. Yeah, just
Splash and dash.
Call it.
Dude, you got a bunch of isms.
So but all the credit goes to her because literally no painkillers, no pain meds.
Wow.
Yeah, and they just cut her open and pulled these babies out, and the babies are lucky to be alive. And that was only the beginning because we almost lost one of our babies. She had a traumatic brain injury, and now she has cerebral palsy. We had to go through
Yeah.
this emotional roller coaster, but I got through it.
Yeah.
And I'm
So did
grateful to
she.
say I got through it alcohol free.
I was going to say, that probably
Right?
tested your limits
Dude,
on
that's
that for sure.
Well,
It's going to test anyone's, right?
anyone. But so I'm using that as my strength. So now you ask, where am I putting this energy? Number one, family. These baby twins. I was telling you when I first got to your studio, I haven't slept. Dude, I haven't got a good night's sleep in months.
Since
Yeah.
But it's all
Thanksgiving,
good.
yeah.
Parents understand that.
But it's all good. And I just want to be the best father I possibly could be, and I want to get my ass in shape. So I'm down 20 pounds.
Congratulations on that, too.
Yeah.
Thank you. And now I just want to collaborate. I want to help more people. I'm inspired to do this coaching business and legit be a good coach. And, we want to fund our students' deals and stuff.
Yep.
No coach is doing that because don't have money, right?
Touche.
They don't know how to do this stuff. You know what's going on. You would do this for the right student. JV opportunities.
absolutely, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's a good deal for them. It's a good deal for you. Yeah, it works out.
So I want to build this collaboration coaching model and be the best father I possibly could be and be the best human being I
You know
possibly
what's crazy is we get in this business because we say the things that we want. We want family, we want time, we want freedom, we want to be able to wake up and make decisions and all this stuff. But somewhere, and I think we all experience it to some degree, right? But you kind of lose that, especially when you're building a massive business like yours. You're like, you just get steered off in so many directions. It's great that you've
How do you
figured
balance
out
that?
how to.
I mean, how do you balance
get back
that?
to that?
That's
Because
a
that's
lot
the
of
original
stuff.
point why we all get in this business.
We get into the business for freedom, but then we start growing, and then the ego
And the
takes
freedom
over,
is
and
gone.
then it turns into this
1,000.
competitor, right? We don't get into the business of we get into it for freedom,
Yeah.
and we just lose track of it because we become competitors.
Competition takes over.
Competition is the fucking ego,
Yeah.
every time. So my balance, I don't have a lot of balance right now. I'm all in on family, health, and business. That is my spiritual practice. My spiritual practice is staying sober. That's what I'm doing, and being kind to other people and telling the truth.
Yeah.
Well, you're
That's what
bouncing
I'm
pretty
doing.
well. Like tonight, you said you have a date night, so you're actually
I
planning
do.
stuff out, which we'll
Keep
get him
your
out
eye
of here
on
for.
Yes, keep your eye on the time because we don't get date nights in my world are few and far between. So she's
He won't let you miss that
very
one.
no.
How
can't.
have you changed your health
So
other than not drinking alcohol? Because
That's
obviously
been
that's
the
huge.
biggest thing.
It's huge, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, but you cannot build really lose weight if you're over the age of I would say 35. What do you think, Terry? Over 35.
why you
you're
gotta
still
put it right at
drinking.
our age? you know?
Yeah, bro.
Dude.
Come on, man.
How are you going to
Why
lose
not
weight?
35?
I'm over 40. Screw you all.
Are you 40?
Yeah.
Nice, me too. When do you turn 41?
80, this November.
Okay, so I turned 41 this August.
Old man. What's wrong with him? I'm just
That's
kidding.
what I'm saying. But if you're still drinking alcohol, it's going to be very difficult to lose weight.
Dude,
And
it really is,
everything's
it's true.
just tougher.
Dude, inflammation. I was feeling so much pain in my knee. I quit drinking, and my inflammation has gone down drastically. My knees were killing me, dude. So I joined a CrossFit gym, so I enjoy that. Can't do a lot of the movements that they're doing, but they
'Cause they're
let
crazy.
you know, they let you kind of scale down, right? They
Yeah.
let you do what you can do. I'm just breaking a sweat every day. I'm only eating like 1,800 calories a day, and I'm not drinking alcohol.
It seems like a very simple formula, but it's
We all
so
know it.
it's so
There's
true.
no magic pill, right?
Yeah, this dude gets on me about these Coke Zeros, but
Yeah, I
I'm
do.
like, hey, my coach said the wrong right?
And isn't it funny? It goes back to the magic pill. The same thing in the fitness industry. Why do you think, you know, the next fad diet sells the most copies of the book? It's like a
Immediate.
wholesale company.
Easy.
Oh, get rich in real estate. Teach you wholesale. It's the same shit. We all have that instant gratification thing that we want to.
What does they say? Sell the sizzle and give them the steak.
yeah, no, like sell that you're going to be rich overnight. But there's no
Get
magic
quick
pill for the health
abs.
thing.
Get
Yeah.
quick, get ripped quick. Yeah.
But I am fully committed to being in the best shape of my life because I want my daughters. Here's the thing, and Terry, you have a daughter?
Yeah.
Yes. You cannot control the.
Well, what
You
are you
know-
laughing for?
Oh, I'm glad you finally answered that like that.
Yeah. Took me a while.
Yeah.
Nice. So you can't control when your daughter's dating. You can't
No.
control the
You
type
can.
of, that's what I'm
Shit, you
saying.
can.
I guess you
No.
can.
Wait till we're
Kidding.
at
Listen, I
least
got my
60.
guns. I got my guns.
You the hell yeah! You can't control the type of boy that your daughter brings home.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
You can't control the type of boy that your daughter is into, but you can set the bar so damn high so she sees what a man is. She sees it, and then some scrubby dude, she knows that ain't like daddy, right? That ain't. So we need to set the bar so high as men for our daughters so they know what they're bringing home. They only demand the best.
Or sons,
we
too.
need to be the best. Physically, emotionally, and they see, what do our kids see? They see how we treat our wives.
Yeah.
So we need to fucking treat them right so our daughters can see how they should be treated.
Yep.
That's what we can control.
So that
that's
meme
what
going
we're
around
right
that's
now.
like, I'm taking my daughter all around the world, so none of you scrubs, when you take her a trip to Miami, she's not impressed. I mean, literally, you just got to show them the right way. And
And it comes from the way we treat
Yeah.
our significant others. I'm a big believer in that. So I'm focused in on my
They see it.
relationship, dude. I feel like anything that we're not putting work into is slowly dying. We need to continue to work on our relationship, right? And I'm going on a date night tonight, right? And we gotta keep putting the work in. No complacency. Maybe we should name that this fucking podcast.
I love that.
No complacency.
well, treat it like your business. You don't get pissed in your
Yes.
business. Treat your relationship
Our
the same
health,
way.
our relationship,
Treat it all
let's
the
keep
same.
putting the work in. Because if we're not, it's dying slowly.
So
I love that.
it's the whole like you can have everything, and some people are like balance exists. Some people say balance doesn't exist. Where are you at on that spectrum between like because what you focus on grows? Like, do you think the balance does exist, or do you think that like dude you can just have it all?
I think you can have it all, and I think absolutely you should go for it all. The people who say, "Oh, balance doesn't exist," are also spending 4 hours a day mindlessly scrolling on bullshit that is not productive.
Damn it, you saw me?
Dude,
Yeah,
that shit is a real addiction.
this is what I'm
That is
saying.
a real addiction.
So if we
They want it to be,
focus,
yeah.
I see the word obsessed gets a negative connotation, right? Oh, obsessive compulsive sounds like a disorder. It's, obsessed, right? But if we're obsessed with the right things, I think it's a positive thing, right?
It's just like
So-
intense focus.
intense focus. But what that means when we get there's 3 things that I feel we need to do to achieve it, to have it all. Number 1 is clarity. We got to know what it is that we want to put the work into, and I believe we should be working on our relationship, working on our health, and working on our business. And when I say relationship, I mean our intimate relationship, friendships, children relationships. That's
Family.
a main part of life, right? So number 1 is clarity. Number 2 is right action. Not just action. How many people are mindlessly scrolling and they feel productive? Oh, I worked my ass off today. No, you didn't. What did you produce? So if we're taking the right action, meaning in those 3 categories, yes, you can build all 3 of those things, which I feel are the most important things. And then number 3 is the right self-image. So this is and that's the hardest one for me. I beat myself up. I talk to myself worse than I would ever talk to another human being. I'm so hard on myself.
Critical.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think I'm good enough. And this is the ego. This is the shit that comes out for me, right? And when I'm drinking and using alcohol,
It's worse.
oh, the volume is just screaming, just waking up so depressed. Alcohol's a depressant, right? So that volume gets way turned up. So I'm doing a lot of work on my self-image right now. I'm paying very close attention to my action, that they are right actions, and not just doing things to stay busy that's not productive. And I have the best clarity I possibly can. I'm setting goals with Lindsay. We need to set goals with our spouses and significant others. If you're building a life together, why are we not sitting at the same table and looking at this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I say, yes, we can have it all. What is having it all? It's those three things: health, relationships, and our businesses. And the whole reason we want a business is not to look cool, because no one's going to remember us when we're dead anyway. The business should fund the lifestyle for the relationships and the health,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. Favorite book right now?
I am into Ryan Holiday books. Are you guys into this guy?
Ryan Holiday. Yep.
Are you into this guy?
Yeah.
Nosa
You know
said
what?
yes.
Yeah.
No, so what book?
Perennial salad? Crazy.
He's like the stoic guy.
I love that.
Into the Stoics, the Marcus Aurelius stuff.
Yep.
And it's all about like being a humble leader, overcoming obstacles. So I just finished the book. I'm a huge Audible fan. I'm listening to
I gotta get hip to Audible, man.
Get on
Still don't
it.
do it? Yeah.
You're on the phone
I
too
will
much.
get
You wouldn't be
you
able
hooked
to.
up,
Your
too.
phone would ring.
It's so
The story
nice
would take like
instead of-
5 days.
Listen, I love music. I listen to it all the time, but it's so nice to be able to complete a book in a few days, right? And even if you only take a few things, because I'm less of an auditory learner than I am like
I do it
actual
at
reading.
I do it at the gym, right? And I'm just like, because I still go to the CrossFit gym and don't listen to headphones there, but I still go to a little gym and just do like the stair climber.
You go to a pros gym?
I go to
Pros
yeah
gym?
yeah.
We hook up with the discount.
I heard that's an amazing place. No, but when I'm driving in the car, I feel bad if I'm listening to music. I have to listen to a book, or else I feel like I'm not working on my core things. I feel like I'm not taking right action if I'm just mindlessly listening to stuff.
Yeah.
No, so I'm constantly listening to a book. And when you get your Audible account set up, let me know, because I got a guy who I don't think it's legal, but I got the hookup on like credits. Yeah, like I'll get you 50
Transfer.
credits for like
Torrenting movies.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Napster music.
I got the hookup on that.
Got that.
But I'm constantly into books because I feel bad, and I tell myself I'm a loser. I tell myself I'm not getting it done if I'm listening to music. That's how like intense I am, right? About just my time, right? So Ryan Holiday books is what I'm into right now.
Love it, man.
No, I was gonna say it seems like you've changed your focus, and now this is like energizing your business and your relationships.
We made major business moves in this changing real estate market, and Terry and I were catching up about this. We let go of numerous people. Our overhead was so high. That's something you've got figured out. You figured that out before us. I was telling Terry about our overhead, direct mail, PPC, and like marketing is important, but I encourage anyone who's listening to this podcast, if you're just getting started, you want to get as many free leads as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what you said. You were like, we didn't even have to market and stuff like that. I'm like, oh shit, I needed that message like years ago. We were spending $60,000 a month on overhead, and just in January, and that's on salaries and marketing, and we cut all of that out. So that's a major shift. And maybe that is from having clarity and focus and focused on the business more. It's like, where's our money at the end of the day? We're doing all these deals and it looks great, but it's like, it needs
going
to
right
hit my
back
bank
out.
account.
Yeah.
That's why the biggest trend
Hey,
right now
it's
is
not how much
layoffs
money
and
you
all
make,
that.
it's how much money you
Keep.
keep.
You keep.
PPC is crazy expensive. So
Yeah, we were doing like $300 a day, and now we're down to like $100 a day, right? And just, yeah, so we burned a lot of cash over the last several years, and on bad people and bad hires.
And sometimes too, especially with real estate, because you kind of have to swim with the tides. But by cutting a lot of stuff out, you actually make more money. It's funny, like you think that everything's exponential, and it's not. Like sometimes doing double the revenue, it doesn't mean double the profit.
because
No.
usually you get more resourceful.
Yeah.
I would rather do less deals and there's more moving parts, or there's less moving parts when you're doing less deals too, right?
Way less.
Yes, I'm spending all this money on marketing, and we're scrapping together as many 5K wholesale fees as we can. Why not just scale the marketing back and focus on profitable deals, right? I'd rather do one deal and make $40,000 than 10 deals and make $5K each. Sure, you know, you made $10K more over here, but the amount of moving parts that you need to
The
transaction coordinator and all this bullshit for 10 transactions, I'd rather make less money and do less deals with less headache.
Well, will
Gary
that
Harper?
shift?
Gary's the man. Yeah.
So I watched him speak. He said there's 212 pieces to flipping a house, 212 processes, like between all the people, title company, 212. When he really he breaks down
Inspections.
everything like to the nitty gritty, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
212. So, but yeah, by scaling back, you can really scale a lot more too.
And then also going virtual. I know you talked about
Oh.
bringing your property management in-house. What do you really need a physical person here for?
I mean, it's not even in house. It's in another country.
It's in Philippines or
Yeah.
Costa Rica or where,
Yeah, but I mean, they're as much of a part of our team, if not more, than
Amen.
Some of the people that we've had in this office.
Same
For
with
real.
us. And that's a big mistake we made. We brought in new leadership, and they were like from the old school, and they're like, I want everybody local.
That's tough.
And, yeah, man. Because there's more, it's harder to, there's more risk for a physical
There
employee
is.
as
Yeah.
well.
More
There's
overhead, more risk.
Yeah.
It's more expensive, obviously, and then you got to
Office
provide
drama,
benefits,
do they get
drama.
culture? Yeah.
So I wish if I could give any advice, it would have been to be more efficient in marketing and get deals like you guys do, instead of blowing all of this money on marketing and this and trying to be big. It's not about being big, it's about being good and profitable, right?
Efficient.
And then also just sticking to the virtual, only keep people here that need to be here and outsource everything else.
Yeah.
What's your next
Love
big
it.
move? Where you headed to next?
We're going to be doing big deals, so we're looking at bigger deals.
I mean, do you
Multifamily
you
or
have to start with the $5,000 deals
portfolio?
anyways. Then you get to the $40,000, but at some point you're gonna be like, I don't want to do the $40,000 deals. I want to get to the $100,000 deals and keep growing. I think.
So we're looking at bigger deals, multifamily, storage. I'm even kind of interested in learning about like assisted living. You know,
That's really big,
I think that's a
actually.
really heartfelt thing too. I think we should we got to take care of the older people. Like my mom used to work. She's a nurse, but she used to help people in like assisted living. So I feel some kind of pull there. But ultimately, bigger deals is what I want to do. And then do the coaching program. So we're doing the Cream coaching program. Where we're going to be doing a lot of JVs with our students and launch that stuff.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts or anything you'd like to say to anyone listening, paying attention, and just advice, maybe something you've gotten throughout the years?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. The only way to grow is to shine the magnifying glass or shine the flashlight on the pain. And that's how you turn the pain into power, right? I would not be able to completely quit drinking alcohol or, overcome those obstacles until I started keeping it real. Your flaws that we have, they're not actually flaws, right? They're strengths. You just got to be able to look at it. Nobody's perfect. In the social media world that we have, everybody looks good and stuff like that. As soon as we start getting okay with who we really are and basically being open about our mistakes, being open about what we're considering flaws about ourselves, the sooner we can grow. And then also the sooner we can get into a collaborative mindset rather than a competition mindset. Because there's way more out there than any of us could ever do. We're all small fish.
And even imagine, yeah.
They're so small.
Yeah.
And just continue to be honest with yourself. If you're hurting and struggling, don't be afraid to ask for help. The ego will get in the way so much of I don't want to look weak. And that's why people won't admit they have a problem with drugs or alcohol. They won't admit they got a problem in their business. Everybody wants to look perfect, but the sooner we ask for help and talk about our flaws and talk about our challenges and problems, the sooner we can actually overcome them.
Love it, man.
I love that, man. How do people find you?
Instagram at the real Dave P.
The real.
At the real Dave P. I was early in that. I see people
Yeah.
doing that now.
2006.
That was on Instagram.
Before I was
shit.
looking about Facebook.
So just Instagram. Send me a message. I'm easy to get a hold of.
Cool. And your Facebook group.
Yes.
Facebook group. We really do a good job of keeping it local, though. I mean, so I know people
It
listen
is.
all over the country. We do have a local Facebook group, but it's really not even worth talking about because unless you're local. If you're local, you're probably
You probably
already
know
part
the
of it.
Cream. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cream Real Estate Group.
The one that Terry was banned on.
But Terry's back, everybody.
He's back.
You know what it was?
That should be
Content on there.
Ever since Terry came back, we're seeing an uptick here of the
He's an
engagement.
influencer. You didn't know that? He's an
He's
influencer.
already getting the
Found the left
feathers
there.
ruffled.
But no, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely
thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much
Thank
for your
you.
story.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning into the Scalers Only Show, where we talk real estate, business, lifestyle, and everything in between. Until next time, peace.